What makes a church? We sometimes think the church is just a building or the ministries that it provides. Many feel that the church is just for the programs that fill our week with things to do. We view the church as an organization, but the church is so much more than that. The church is not an organization, it's an organism. The church is people. The church is you. The church is us. The church is everyone who has been blood-bought. The church is the redeemed. Calvary Baptist Church is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year due to the faithfulness of many past, present, and future members coming together in unity as the body of Christ that started on a little front porch of a family home. The church is a family of believers, brothers and sisters in Christ. Some families represent 4 generations deep, families that understand the importance of a solid foundation based on Christ and the Great Commission. Families who have served in our church, community, and those God called to the mission field from right here at Calvary.
Hi, I'm Tammy Cooper, and I'm the youngest of the Cooper family. My parents, Jim and Betty Cooper, were actually saved at Calvary through the ministry of Dr. Harold Bowe. And then I believe we were the first missionaries, our family, that was sent out from this church. So it was decided that they would go to the Turks and Caicos Islands where there was not an established church.
Oh, when we first went to the field, we went out from this church, from Calvary Baptist Church, as members from 1952. The pastorate of Harold Bowe, J.R. McClure, Dr. J.B. Buffington, and Eddie Buford. Calvary was our arm when we were in the Turks and Caicos, but Calvary was our major supporter. They were our rock. Okay. During the time that we were in the Turks and Caicos and in the Bahamas and in the various ministries that we had after the Bahamas. Biggest supporter, one financially. They prayed for us, and they were, like my son said, they were our rock.
In Nassau, once again, my dad wanted to plant a church. We went out and visited a lot of homes, and my dad started the Baptist Bible Church. And it was on one side of the island. Later on, he started another church on the other side of the island. But Baptist Bible Church not only is still going today, but the school, Nassau Christian Schools, which Dad also started, is going strong. There are now 1,200 students at that school. We went to the other side of the island, which was the more upper middle class, and Dad started the New Testament Baptist Church. Very shortly after that, my dad just started not feeling so good. He just was very tired, and it was unlike him. So he went to the doctor. Missionary Flights out of West Palm came and picked our family up very quickly. He went to the doctor on Friday, and on Sunday morning we actually boarded the plane to come home. We came back to Lakeland. Calvary really took very good care of us, ministered to my family in so many ways. I could never say enough thanks for that. As a teenager, I remember how well we were taken care of. Brother Ed Buford was my youth pastor, and the story on that is pretty unique because I was a missionaries kid, and I believe that I had made a profession of faith when I was younger, but I didn't remember a lot about it. And Dr. Buffington was preaching one Sunday morning here on hell, and it just really caused me to search my heart, to be certain that my relationship was not based on my parents' faith, but on my faith. And I actually accepted the Lord here at Calvary when I was 13 years old, shortly after my dad passed away.
About that time, our brother in the Lord, Brother Jim Cooper, passed away. And he was in Nassau, Bahamas. Our director asked us to go there and fill in because we had a young national who was ready to step in. Asked us to take it over for a few months until they could get the church there that Jim had started grounded. So that's what we did. We went there for a few months, supposedly, but it wound up being about 15 years. So that was how we got to the Bahamas.
I can still remember Sunday school in Owen and Iva Cumby's class, hearing the stories that amazed me at that time. Daniel and David with slaying Goliath. I still remember those days. Calvary was it was home for us. Surrendered to the Lord for full-time service. Didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. Had some ideas, but didn't know exactly. And then I went away to college and got that settled. We graduated in 76, went to the mission field, and Calvary was there for us. They were the first church to take us on for support. Dr. Buffington was the pastor at that time. This church has always been special. It will always be home. At my lowest point, I got my best advice from here, from two men. One was Brother Morgan, who this building here, the gymnasium and all, is named after, but he gave me advice that kept me going.
Hi, my name is David,
I'm Sandy.
and we're the Knolls. This church is a heritage in my family. My mother's brother, my Uncle Jim Cooper, was the first missionary. He and his wife were saved through the ministry of Calvary Baptist. He went on to be a pastor and then a missionary down in the Bahamas and was the first missionary out of Calvary Baptist. This is my church. I grew up here. I believe what this church believes and have been happy to participate and minister here in this church for my entire life. My mom and dad, Bill and Ann Knoll, were saved in 1951 as a result of Calvary Baptist Church. Someone came, I think, invited them to a tent revival put on by Calvary Baptist, and both of them were saved there. And so my mom was pregnant with me when she was saved, and mom and dad started attending Calvary, and I've been here since 1952.
My reasons to be here are the same, of course, but I look at David being here for 68 years, our children growing up in this church, going through their youth group, getting married, and now our grandchildren are here in the church and following the same path, and I just think it's a great heritage.
4 generations have been saved through the ministry of this church. So the church has been loyal to our family, and our family wants to be loyal to the church.
Exactly.
I have so many favorite memories because I've been here so long, but being close to the children, which I dearly love children, always have, thought I'd probably have a house full, and the Lord only gave me 2, but I'm grateful for those 2. I just had so many things have happened, cute little things the kids would say to me. Here comes my old Sunday school teacher, and I always thought that was special. It didn't bother me. I don't mind being old. I thank the Lord I've lived as long as I have. But that's some of the things that, and not just one child said it to me, you know. Here comes Miss Iva, and of course that, calling me Miss Iva is very endearing to me because it carries so much to it, so.
So Papa, what's your favorite memory from Calvary through the years?
When we moved into the new auditorium.
Okay.
And Mom, what's your favorite memory from Calvary?
When I was in charge of the kindergarten class.
Back when I was a teenager, we had a Saturday program for children, and it wasn't for teenagers, it was for children. And I told, there's so many, we used to use flannelgraph all the time. I used a lot of that. And I told flannelgraph on the radio, so I told the story, but there was no visuals, of course, because we didn't have TV back then. So, but I loved that. I did. I loved it. I love telling stories anyway, because I love to talk. So.
I'm BARAK.
And I'm Annette.
And we're the SAMSON family.
When I was just 2 years old, 2 ladies from this church visited my mom. We lived on the next street over, right here by the church, and they friended my mom and talked to her and witnessed to her, and they didn't push her. They just were friends with her and told her how blessed she was, and and they had a baby shower when my brother came along, and they just did all kinds of things. And so my mom allowed one of those ladies to bring me to church. So I started coming here when I was only 2. My mom did get saved when I was 4 years old, and my dad. Another man from this church witnessed to my dad, and that's how he got saved. Through this ministry, both of my parents were saved, and they started coming to this church, and then my dad went off to Bible college for 4 years. When we came back when I was in the 5th grade, he became a staff member, and he was a bus minister and the printer for our church for over 30 years. And my mom was the church secretary for 7 years, very involved, sang in the choir, and always been involved in church.
It's because of the faithfulness and commitment of our members. The bus ministry has been such a blessing to many children and families in the local area. For over 4 decades, our buses have traveled the roads, bringing children and families from all over the city.
Hello, I'm Larry Fillmore. Hi, I'm Debbie Fillmore. Got here on the bus ministry back in 1966. Tommy and Phyllis Douglas picked me up and brought me to Sunday school. Larry came to the church because he and I were married. He was a little reluctant.
I told my wife, I said, I'll come to church with you, but don't sick the preacher on me. I'll come. And 3 weeks later, I got a conviction, raised my hand. The next day, Pastor Buffins at my house, witnessed to me. I got saved. Joined the bus ministry, worked in junior church, been going here for as long as I can remember that I've been married, Funny story I got when Pastor Buffton baptized me. Back then I was 6'3", about 320, and then when he dunked me in the dunk tank, I splashed water so hard that it went over the glass wall and wet the top row of the choir. And Pastor Buffton had filled his waders full of water and he couldn't get out of the baptistry. And ever since then we've been coming back. We've tried a couple of churches because of the distance driving, but no church is the same as that's what never will be, I don't believe.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Tina.
And we're the PEAVY family. I was born here. My dad got saved in 1961 in April. I was born in May of 62, and that's why I was here.
I came on the bus. I was 7 years old in second grade, and Ray Harrington picked me up on the bus and brought me to church. And then my mom was in an accident in 1971. Brother Buffington went and visited her. We started going in about 71, 72. Then Mom and Dad, they were already saved, but they hadn't been living for the Lord. That changed our lives.
And the reason I came to Calvary is because my mom and dad brought me when I was about a 3-year-old. And Carol has a much more interesting story.
I rode in on the buses. Brother Louis DeMilly picked me up every Sunday along with my sister, and we came here. We're in the youth department. That's where I met Tim, and we've raised our family here and just enjoyed a wonderful years of service here at Calvary.
My best memory is whenever I first met Annette. We were both in the youth department. My family came in about 1977. I was in the 10th grade. I was with a friend from school, Dale Crawford. He was the only one I knew in the youth department. I remember Annette, Gail, Keith now, but Gaines then, were sitting right behind us, and they both introduced themselves to me, and so that was the first time I met her. And over the course of many years, we finally got together.
I'm Dane.
I'm Abigail.
This is Aaron, Reagan,
and Eden.
And we're the Samson family. My two favorite memories at the church is first, in 1999, right in this building, I came to know the Lord as my personal Savior on a Sunday morning. And secondly was also 2007, whenever Abigail and her family came to the church.
Probably my most favorite though was meeting Dane very early. Like the day that we got here, he was probably the first person that I met my age. And so that was definitely special because I was not wanting to move here. And my dad kept telling me that it was going to change my life. And I was like, no, it's not. Then of course, right off the bat, I met Dane, and that was pretty much from then on I was sold. So.
Hi, I'm Wesley.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Amelia. I'm Fran.
And we're the Samson family.
It's so hard to pick one memory that stands out because literally 90% of my memories are from here, whether it's church or the school that we have here. It's truly just been such an integral part of my life, and there were so many huge moments of my life that happened here. Happy, sad, just so many things, and being here and forming the friendships that I formed, whether here or at the school, it's truly those friendships, I still have them today.
And we are here. We have a lot of family here still involved in the bus ministry, and there's just a lot of work in the bus ministry to be done. We're trying to help get it done, and we feel like a great opportunity to serve the Lord.
I'm Casey, and this is Annie.
My name is Abby. My name is Addie.
And I'm David, and we're the Norwood family. My favorite memories would be the father-son activity at the lake. Tons of them out there. The top memories at the church, as far as the activities go, that's one of the first things that popped to my mind. I mean, there's lots and lots of memories. And I've been here for 30 years or so a lot of memories.
Hello, I'm Sue Norwood.
Hi there, I'm Ashley. This is Hunter and Haley.
I'm Darren, and we're the Norwood family. One of my favorite memories growing up here, walking out of church in the parking lot every Sunday, my dad would be whistling When the Roll is Caught Up Yonder, something that stuck with me. Another memory is father-son activities every year, going to Camp Gilead. That was a great memory.
So what brought us to the church was we knew we needed to find a church home. We've been married almost 8 years this March. Darren had grown up in the church church, knew we needed to get our kids into the church. When we joined, I immediately felt like family. Our kids love it here. They have a great children's program. Everybody makes you feel welcome.
Friends brought up George and I. They'd been praying for us even before I knew them. They were praying for us here, and that's how we ended up here. Preacher Buffington, Cleve Bates, Ernest Brooks, Gene Gaines, all of them were praying for us.
Reason I'm still here is growing up in the church, just have a history with the church. I know there's a lot of good churches out there, but this is the best one, and that's why I'm still here. I've tried a few others. This is the best that suits me and my family, I think, as far as people here and the leadership in the church.
Hi, my name is Mary Phillips, and we've been coming to Calvary since 1973. One of my favorite memories is watching Brother Buffington crawl around on the old office floor over there, playing with Melody when she was born. That was his first grandchild, and he was so proud of her. Then Norwoods, from the day that they walked in the door, I don't know what the connection was, but it seemed like God just placed them here for us and us for them. And we were friends from the time they come in the church, the whole time she was carrying David and Darren, and we watched them grow up here. And there were so many things about Darren. He was kind of shy. Darren, I always made him give me a kiss, and to this day, he gives me a hug and a kiss.
This was in April of 1961. He was invited to pack a pew night from the neighbor. My sisters had been coming on the bus with Tommy Douglas. This old man named Flores Johnson asked Dad to come for Dr. Fred Brown as he was doing a revival service. After the service, Dad said, "I'm not coming back because that man preached at me the entire time." As the man asked again, "I need you to fill the pack a pew night with me again. I need you to be on my pew." Dad said, "No, I gotta mow my yard." And when he come home from work the next day, the old man mowed his yard and he come to church and got saved. You don't hear of those stories very often. So that changed my life. My father was led to the Lord by Brother Bates, and I was too, 20 years later.
I'm Wes.
Megan. And I'm Harley. And I'm Rayleigh.
And we're the Allen family.
My favorite memory of the church is singing with my whole family and with my grandparents. We would sing quite frequently on stage with Pop's guitar. Probably one of my favorite things, one of the things that I remember the most as a child growing up.
My name is Keith.
Hi, I'm Monica.
And we're the Basses. One of my favorite memories that I have to go back, 1979. I came back to Calvary in 77. I'd been away from the Lord for a few years. I recommitted my life and I gave up some things and I said, "Lord, it's yours. From here on out, I want to follow you." About a year and a half later, in 1979, Lacey was teaching college and career. I was a business person in the nursery business, young in the nursery, and Lacey had asked me, he said, "Keith, hey, you involved, you're doing some things, you got a bus route, you're in the choir, and how about just giving you a testimony, kind of casually." She came down for Christmas. I was shaking like a leaf. I looked out there in the back, and in the back row was this young girl sitting on the back with a red dress with a big smile on her face. And I settled down. It was like God said, "Just go ahead and give your testimony. It's all right. You can give your testimony. This is a place you can trust." That is one of my greatest memories, because of that day, that's the day that I met my wife-to-be. That week of rededication and then the next couple of years led me to my wife.
Can't get any better than that. That's one of my greatest memories too. So basically, I just came to Calvary because my mom, we had moved to Lakeland, and I came elementary years, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah, what brought me is my parents. My dad moved back. He was with Publix and moved back from Dunedin, Clearwater area back to Lakeland, 2 streets over, actually on Oconee. And a lot of people don't know this, that the Robson clan, my Uncle Jim was with his wife, Hesta, were here. My Aunt Louise Robson was a member here. My grandmother, Billy Robson, was a member here. And so we started coming at that time when we moved back to Lakeland in 1968.
I'm here because I come to visit a few times before we were married and would attend church with Megan here. This is where her parents were going, and I mean, it was easy to tell instantly how biblically doctrinal sound this church was, and that speaks great volumes to me.
We're here because we think this is a good church, and we know that we want to serve God here.
to me, I don't know of any other church in the area that I would consider to be as strong biblically and in the faith and in the family heritage. And that family heritage is important because the next generation is just passed on, and we can see it. There's 4 generations here of us, 4 generations of the Bates family, and a lot of the kids that we grew up with are still serving the Lord. Maybe not here, but a lot of them are still serving the Lord.
I can definitely say that between all of the different churches that I've been to across the country, that none of them feel like home like this one.
Hey, I'm Josh.
I'm Erica.
Hi, Emma. I'm White Jackson.
And this is our Addie Rose, and we're the Fillmore family. I couldn't imagine raising our family in a different church. I couldn't imagine not being here at every service and being surrounded by the people of God that I love so much. What do you love about it? Do you like your classes, or?
Because I like
my
classes.
You like your class?
I like the church that God gave us. I like Miss Leela.
Me too.
You like Miss Leela? Everybody likes Miss Leela.
Yeah. Our kids love the children's program here at the church, and Miss Leela, everybody does. But it's just become our home. It's become our second home. We love it.
To some, the church is a building located at a certain spot on a certain street. The church is not a building. It's a body of true believers. It is not a business. It's the bride of Christ, chosen by the Father. It is not a corporation. It's a congregation of Christ followers. It is not a financial institution. It's a family. It's a flock. It's not led by CEOs. It's led by shepherds. It's not built by corporate executives. It's built by Christ alone.